Hello, all you coin aficionados out there, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And today we have a really interesting story about how the country of India made the country of Canada change its coins. Actually, they didn't really make them, they occasioned the change of coins. And so let's start with this one in 1947. So in 1947, Canada had its coins. This is the 1 cent coin. You can see the 1 cent at the top, the maple leaves here, the 1947 and the Canada. And over here you see the KG for Kruger Gray, who was the engraver of the George Kruger Gray, who was the engraver of the back of the coin. And then if we flip it over, we see, of course, Canada still a dominion at that time of the country of Great Britain, or the United Kingdom, as it's come to be called. And we have George the Sixth, DG, which stands for By the Grace of God, Rex, which is King, and ET, Ind Imp, Imperator of India, or Emperor of India. So this front of this coin is George the Sixth, By the Grace of God, King and Emperor of India. And down here we have an HP. I don't know how well you can see that HP down there under his neck. It's kind of hard to see. It's right in there, right at the tip of my coin. That's for Thomas Humphrey Paget, who engraved the front of this coin. So in 1947, this is how the coin looked. However, in August of 1947, the British Parliament had passed an act called the Indian Independence Act of 1947. And the Indian Independence Act of 1947, which gained royal assent, in other words, the King George agreed to it, said that India and Pakistan would be made, break off from from Great Britain into two separate dominions. The country, essentially, of India, or nation of India, in the country or nation of Pakistan. So that occurred on August 15th, 1947. And so the country of Canada said, hey, what are we going to do? We say that he's the Emperor of India, and he's not going to be the Emperor of India. Now, these kind of coin things happen occasionally when the monarch dies or abdicates. You have to change who's on the coin. Well, this particular coin, they needed to change the Emperor of India, or India Imperator, and take it off. And so they tried to figure out what to do and how long it would take them, and they of course have to have a new engraving and everything. So what they decided to do, after making 31 million of these coins in 1947, is put out another 1947 issue to tide them over until the 1948 engravings could be done. So in 1947, they put out another 44 million, almost 43.8 million of this coin. So if we look at this, we see that the front, pretty much the same. It still says George the Sixth, by the grace of God, King and Emperor of India. Still the Thomas Humphrey Paget front. All the things on the front are the same. But on the back, they did something really cool, and that's why we're here today. And that is, they wanted to show that this was actually going to be a 1948 coin. Even though it says 1947, they wanted to be able to tide these over until 1948, when the new dies came out, and the new engravings and new castings. So what they did was they put this little tiny extra maple leaves here, and you can see them. That's actually a little maple leaf right behind the 7. You can see on this side there is no maple leaf behind the 7. So the second version of the 1947 coins has this maple leaf on it, and that was because they knew that in 1948 they were going to have a new coin which didn't say Emperor of India on it anymore. And so this is called the maple leaf version, and this is called the non-maple leaf version. And they also did something interesting here, because I don't know why they did it, But 1947 is an interesting time for these coins. They also made a coin here that had a really sharp 7 on it. And this is not one of them. See how the 7 here, it's kind of rounded on the end? They made one in 1947 that they call the sharp-edged 1947. And that particular coin, um, when you look at that particular coin, you see that it has a little bit of a different edge on the back of the 7. The pointed edge, or this is called the blunt edge. So we have 3 different versions. We have the maple leaf, which they made so they would carry over till 1948. We have the blunt 7 here, and then there's also a 7 where the tip of it, way up here where it points toward the stock, is sharp, and they call that the pointed 7. So all of those 3 coins are very collectible from 1947. They're not hugely valuable. They're probably worth, um, 50 cents or so, if you can get them in, say extra fine, very fine, extra fine condition. Now, after all that fuss, what's the 1948 look like? And we're going to do another video on the 1948. Same thing, same back. Kruger Gray did it. But here's the 1948. And you can see that what they did in 1948 was they took out the Emperor of India right here. And instead it says, this one says George VI, by the grace of God, King and Emperor of India. This one says George VI, Dia Gratia. So Dia Gratia, that is essentially by the grace of God, except instead of saying DG, they spelled it out, and then Rex here for king, and they took off the Emperor of India. So that's all we have today from the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And look for these extra maple leafs by the 7 for the 1947 coin. Look for the pointed 7 or sharp 7 here for the 1947 coin, and then look for this one here, the blunt-edged 1947. Have a great day from DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel, and if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section, and keep an eye out for that 1948 1 cent Canada video.